Hello all and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. We're back in the beautiful season of fall and it is Friday the 12th. We have a few lovely things that we need to try to do, which involve currently dealing with all of these pumpkins, which is great. I mean, look at all of them. That's fantastic. Well, I know that the gloriously useful Junimo are going to be working their way through the pile, but of course we will probably need to give them a hand because they're just not quite as quick as the Iridium Scythe just going, ha, no. The powers that be. It's always an interesting sort of blend of madness with it when it comes to how incredibly useful being able to scythe crops down, and especially with the wide sweep area that the Iridium Scythe gives you. Now, the thing is, I don't think I've actually tried enchanting it with anything, and I wonder if I can. Might be a good idea, to be fair. But that's an idea for later on, potentially. We'll see. So, yeah. Odd plans aside, we've also got all of the other lovely things that we need to do today, which is, I feel like we need to go back over to Ginger Island at some point, because Ginger Island does have one thing that I need to look at. My theory is that coal is more likely to spawn in I'm trying to think of the correct in the volcano, because the volcano seems to have like a decent amount of coal nodes, and if I get the boost from the dwarf statue to give me more coal, well, that's even better. So that's kind of my thought process, at least on this one. I might be wrong. I could very well be wrong. It's not like that hasn't been a constant common occurrence. But that's my current brain logic on that one. I'm also going to have a quick look into town and see what quests are available to me, because of course I want to make sure that I can actually do things. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? We've got lots of things to try to figure out whether it's viably useful, blah, blah, blah. And one of the things that I do really need to have a look at is the kind of the opportunities for villager quests. And I'm sure most of them will be, well, hopefully most of them this week will be nice and easy. I can't guarantee that is going to be the case, but hey, one can hope. Because, my goodness, it is very annoying when I've got to deal with a lot of like weird and wonderful quests that are kind of hard to deal with. So, fingers crossed on that front. But for now, we're just going to organise what we can within the farm itself. I mean, I've got quite a few just generally like kind of useful things going on here. Look at all those lovely preserves. I mean, I know they were ready last night, but the trouble is there was just no way in heck I could have actually managed to really deal with them, because I was just going to run out of time. So we're dealing with them now, which seems more reasonable to me, at least. So yeah, we've got some ideas at least on that sort of front. And I think one of the other things that I'm kind of worried about, potentially, is trying to see if... Well, I mean, I'm going to use all these pumpkins that were just harvested as part of the new preserves, essentially. Because, yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me for us to use them in that manner. Because, yeah, they're... I mean, logically, they are kind of the best choice. I mean, they're high value, so very much makes sense to me. So, yeah, we've got plans. Whether they're particularly good plans, it's a very different question. We don't know. Right, so let's fling all of this miscellanea away that we don't need. That's fine and all. Now, let's have a quick look. So we've got a little bit more material ready. Now, I've checked the calendar, so there's nothing coming for a couple of days. We've got the Stardew Fair, whatever it is. That's coming the beginning of next week. I think that's the Tuesday. So we've got a chance to do something, you know, vaguely useful with that. So that's going to be a little bit of a focus, but it's also not going to be particularly complicated, I don't think. honestly, looking at it, it's not like it's a particularly difficult thing to deal with. Stardew Valley Fair, it's not like I struggle at doing well. But the thing I didn't realise is I didn't actually realise I had another one of these fish tanks. So it looks like I'm going to be putting some fishes away. As dumb as that sounds, I'm going to put them into this fish tank. And that will be great, because of course I want to have lots of fishes in these fish tanks. And I've got the legendary fishes, well, legendary 2s. So I'm going to put the glacier fish in here as well. That'll be nice. And see what else can I do here. Well, I guess that's kind of the question, isn't it, really? What else can I do? Well, I'm still debating whether I go delving into the caves, the volcano, or the mines. But one of the things that I do want to do is go and visit the desert, because I want the artifact troves. That's kind of the big thing for me at the moment. Because once I can get those artifact troves, because they've got there is a book apparently in them, which I haven't got. So once I can get that book, then, well, that makes my life a hell of a lot easier, because that's, well, one more book that I don't have to worry about after then. So I'm kind of hoping that I can find it. Well, I can find some. So let's see, what else have we got that we can do? Well, we've got a quest opportunity, so let's see what that is required. Okay, sardines. Hey, they're not too difficult. And although I did mock Demetrius the last time he offered me a fishing quest, it is actually reasonable to population control fish and other wildlife in general. Especially when it's kind of knocked on impact by human action. I think it's probably the best way of putting it, because there's definitely an opportunity for us to make some mistakes, is probably one way of putting it, when it comes to animal control. Because, of course, it's very easy, and you see it quite a lot in general impacts from it, where a species is considered a pest by humans, but then the knock-on impacts aren't really looked at. In the same way, I would love to get rid of mosquitoes. I would just... literally nothing that I can think of that they do good, other than that they are quite a high important food source for dragonflies. And dragonflies are very beautiful creatures. And also just generally quite interesting as creatures do go. So kind of need to make sure that they're around. I mean, that's a small saving grace. It's not really much of one, but it's a saving grace that they have. Couldn't say for certain otherwise, so that's from my understanding at least. And again, I'm painfully aware that my understanding of stuff is maybe not as hot as I'd like it to be sometimes. So yeah, but that's the thing. Otherwise, it's just trying to figure out what other things can we actually do right now. So yes, random pest control ideas out of the way there. So let's us disappear off to the desert again. Now, obviously, I've noticed that the desert trader will take omnigeodes in return for these treasure troves. And I've got quite a few of them. So I'm going to convert all of them into a particularly ridiculous stack of artifact troves. I think that's quite a sensible way of dealing with this general shenaniganry here. And I think I'm going to have to go and visit Clinton. I mean, I say I think. It's going to have to be tomorrow now that it's, goodness, 10 past 5. So we don't really have the opportunity to go and visit him today. Not the end of the world, but we've started our way forward with getting what we need. But for now, we're going to just delve a little bit deeper into the mines of Skull Caves, because I might get a couple more. And also I'm after coal, because I need 999 of it. And once I've got that, then I can visit the Desert Trader again, and I can buy the piano. Once that's done, then I can start filling up the hoppers that I have set up now. with coal and essentially get started with the production of more material. I mean, yes, I don't need copper, iron, or iridium bars, but it's nice to have the opportunity should I decide to do something insane. I mean, that is quite a common occurrence, actually, to be very fair. I do a lot of dumb stuff, so doing dumb, weird stuff is kind of expected at this point. And, you know, I might look at interesting decorations or something of that sort of ilk. Maybe I might find something fun to do. So yeah, I'm going to give it a go and kind of hope for the best with that. Obviously, I'm going to flatten all these slimes. I'm going to try... well, I tried to kill them all. I need to kill them all, otherwise I'm not getting a way down. And the thing is, of course, I will go out of my way to hunt slimes down purely because of the fact that I have the ability to heal. And since, well, heal off of them, at least. And considering slimes physically can't hurt me, they are kind of the ideal candidate for beating to death with a hammer. That seems awfully mean, but I don't care. So we're going to beat lots of slimes to death. And when it comes down to it, yeah, they're kind of cutesy, but they're still enemies and need to go away. That's the thing is, there's not that much that many of the enemies in the game are... They're not really, I would consider, really scary. Which is, you know, a bit of a godsend, really, because it'd be really odd to have such a sweet, cutesy game and then actually have like some absolutely terrifying foes in it. Which... I guess there are probably games that are like that, to give you a bit of bamboozlery. And to be fair, having played Bokura reasonably recently, that was one that really messed with my brain. Lovely game, genuinely really interesting, but the way that the art style just messes with you between the two players, it's just amazing. It's definitely a game I definitely recommend. It's a two-player game. You have to have two people to play it. Literally cannot play it alone. Because it requires the two of you to actually come up with some interesting, innovative ways of solving the puzzles. Ah, some rain totems. So that's going to be useful. I mean, yes, I could have used those a little bit earlier when I was trying to catch the legend. I still managed to catch it, so not too worried about that. But moving forward, it'll be useful if I want to make for a rainy day. Because the thing is, as opportunities go, one could really just go... I mean, at this sort of stage in the game, I could just make just oodles and oodles of rain totems and just not worry about sprinklers at all. Because, well, if you've got the opportunity to do that, yeah, do it. Just be lazy, because why would you put effort in if you can be lazy? Well, I mean, that's how my brain works, at least. I'm very much the keen of the, if I can avoid doing hard work for something, I will. And yes, I'm painfully aware that does make me a bit of a slacker, but if there's a way around it, I'm down. It's very much my cup of tea, being able to figure out a lazy, easy way around things. Which is why I use bombs a lot, to be fair. Because, again, I can't be bothered to mine myself. If I can lazy my way out of it, yes, please. So, yeah. Let's keep it going. We've still got a few more things to work through here. I mean, not too concerned. I'm getting a little bit of coal, which is nice. Getting a few more omnigeodes, replenishing my supply of them. Again, because they're not really... I don't need them for anything now. So a lot of the resources that I'm getting, I'm like, do I want this? Do I need this? Is it really going to help me in any way, shape or form? And some of them, just no. Because the omnigeodes themselves, I can crack them open, but actually, I'm kind of better off turning them into something else. Such as, for example, I could turn them into the nice turban that I'm wearing. Because I really like the idea of the colour changing turban. It's, I think, really cool. just because I like the idea of just being able to like color change stuff. It's the same reason why I really like the prismatic, what's it called? Like the prismatic hair gel, or the magic hair gel, and the prismatic coloured frog, because I think that's very cool. A little bit different, but very cool all the same. So yeah, I like the idea of the colour change. Makes me happy. Righty. Is there anything else that we can do here? It doesn't look like there's anything super major that we need to be concerned with right now, though, at least. So I guess that's kind of an advantage. I wondered what that red thing on the floor was. I wasn't sure what it was. I didn't realise it was magma geodes. Not really, again, the end of the world for me to pick them up. But also, meh. Don't really care. Which might sound a bit awful in some ways. It's like, it's just a magma geode. Again, geodes aren't really that useful to me. Right now, at least. So, maybe I should get, I mean, what else could I try and do? I mean, maybe I could, crush them using the geode crusher more often, but again, I only do that because, well, when I need to. They're not really as much of a concern for me anymore. Because once you've completed the museum, it's really, do you want that resource? But then again, there are occasions when you do need those particular gemstones and things, because they are used by some recipes. And that did bamboozle me a little bit when I was looking at making a couple of the recipes, because I just didn't have the resources for them, and that was very frustrating, as I'm sure you can imagine. So, maybe there are some ideas and some things that I kind of need them for, and I should probably be paying some attention to them. Maybe. I don't know. It's a bit of an umming and ahhing sort of situation, at least. Because, yeah, there's some ideas. But for now, I'm just going to hold on to them, because I don't need them right now. Although, sod's law will be, I will end up really actually needing them, and then going, drat. But, as you can see, I've got my nice dispensaries, almost dispensaries, laid out as they are, so that I can actually get more of the automation going. Because that's kind of what I'm after. It's just like, automation, please, because that's really the best way about getting stuck in, I think. Now, of course, I still need a few more tanks. I think I'm going to need 2 more tanks. One for the Crimson Fish. And then one for the Legend 2 and Muzz Anglerfish. Sorry. The MS signifier, identifier is always been one of those ones that I found difficult to pronounce. Not sure why. I know it's MS, but I can't say it very well, which I know might make me sound like a complete Burke, but it's just one of those terms. Which, to be fair, again, having a sort of like harking a reference to my Dutch lessons at the moment, considering what as meneer and mevrouw, very confusing. Because I want to get this right. I'm learning a foreign language, and it's sometimes quite complicated. Which, I mean, to be expected. It's a foreign language. It's not always going to be the same. And the main reason I'm struggling a little bit is because of its similarities to both English and German, which means that when I try to pronounce something, I pronounce it in a German manner. So my Dutch friends who mention it, they're like, yeah, you sound German when you pronounce things, but we can still tell you're English. It's kind of funny. It's like, great. Because one does try as much as physically possible to get it right. So yeah, that's how this goes, at least anyway. So let us keep on trucking. Okay, so we've started off on the new day. We're going to definitely go and visit Clint today. We've got 234 of these absolutely bananas items. So yeah, we're gonna slug our way through, crack open as many of them as possible, and I think at some point I'm gonna need to replenish the stockpile I've got of my wine, because I'm running out. I can't fully restock my cellar, which actually is kind of a concern for me, because I of course want to make sure that my cellar is fully restocked at any given opportunity. So I think that's going to have to be a key idea for myself. I need to get that done. Kind of annoying, but hey, I can deal with it. So, what other things can I sort of organise a little bit here when it comes to my resources? Oh, so we've got all the ancient fruit ready again, so it looks like that's going to be quick and easy harvest. Again, the stuff that can be produced in the greenhouse is great. And it is one of those things I do quite enjoy, is just seeing how different people lay out the greenhouse. I know full well that because I have a sort of a farm that I thought out a little bit better, shall we say. And I definitely thought about the layout of everything a lot more than I have for this one. That there is a much neater and more organised way that I could have put the trees. And I really didn't think about it. I was very much more slapdash and just chucked things in where I felt like it. Because it would have been more sensible, because I could have 2 of each tree, and it would have been better if I'd had them all sort of in the same place and being all neat and organised. But no. I had to be a moron, didn't I? I had to do it the silly way. As in, throw them in there, that'll be fine. It's all good. Okay, so we've got some more apple jam and jelly, which is good. And, well, what else can we sort out next? Guess that's the big next question, isn't it? What do we want to try and sort out next here? Well, I do have a lot of different rows, and I think that might be a good one to actively work on next. To actually try and get rid of the large overstock of them that I currently have. Because I really do have far too many of them. And yes, a lot of them are from my fishing misadventures. So, of course, I'm going to have quite a few. So, kind of a given. And I would quite like to have less of them, which sounds in potentially very silly, but I'd like to have less of them because I know that's taking up space, and once I've got rid of them, that's money. Again, though, money isn't really the big thing that I need to worry about anymore. Not on High Ridge Farm, at least. It's not really a major concern for me here. But it is something that I am still thinking about. Because maybe I should be sensible, and I should probably go and buy just a ton of coal off of Clint. As much as I really don't want to. And part of that is just because I don't find him a terrible person. I just don't want to spend money in-game. Which is daft, because I've got loads of it, and it's not like I'm using it for anything else, so why am I just stockpiling it? And I think I have mentioned it before, because I'm very much akin to doing that in other games. Whenever I play through Fallout, I end up with just oodles of caps for no reason. Like, when am I going to use 1 million caps? I am literally richer than Mr. House. Because I just... You know it's bad when you've been playing the same playthrough for that long that you can have 1 million caps. It's not great. So yeah, I need to kind of deal with that general silliness that I have there. So yeah, general silliness aside, we've got a few more things that we kind of need to do here today, which are going to be organising the animals a little bit better, because they need to just have a little bit more food and stuff sorted out for them, which is fine. And let's see, what else can we do? I guess that's the question. What else can we do today? I don't know. What else do I really want to try and do? Well, obviously going and visiting Clint, which is kind of a given, isn't it? I need to go and visit Clint. It's just how it goes. And once we visit Clint, we can get these cracked open. Now, 234 of them. I wonder how many of them I'm going to need to get this book. What the point is, like, how far down in this list is the book going to be? Is it a particularly rare spawn? Is it... I don't know. We're going to find out. But it could be a absolutely monstrously difficult spawn. Who knows? Hopefully that's not the case. Because, you know, I'd kind of like to have stuff done properly. Thanks. And then it'll make me happier, at least, because then there'll be one less book to worry about. And then I just have this one last book, so I'm going to have to go and see the bookseller whenever they're back in town, which I believe is towards the end of the season. I've had a look on the calendar, and I do know that they're not... It's not that they're not coming in or anything, it's they've got a little while before they show up, which is fine. I've just got to be aware of that, and don't be a moron. So yeah, let's give this a go. Okay, so I think we're pretty well sorted there. We're going to just go and send all of that back, ship out the other things that we don't need to worry about, which mostly at this sort of stage is... I mean, what really is it to be safe? It's just, you know, all this wine and just artisan goodery. We don't need all of those on us. We definitely don't need it on our person, at least, because we're going to ship it out. That's fine. So, what else can we do today with regards to just general silliness? Well, let's go visit good old Clint. Let's see what he can do for us today. Come on. Clint, please break open my large quantity of troves and things, because I've got quite a few different things that need cracking open. We've got a few presents from Mr. Key, from the Sky Drops. And then we've also got all of this other bananery. We've got so many artifact troves. Ooh, another cherry tree. And another animal cracker. Okay, so that's good. So a couple more animal crackers is always nice, because that's something I can give to the animals, and I can get them to double produce. I think I really need to start giving those to the cows, just because that'll help me generate more milk. Because that's something I haven't really done much. I've been giving it mostly to make sure that the golden chickens are double producing. But then again, that is partly because they're individual golden... Ah, we've got the book! We've got the book! We have it. Oh, yes. So, what does it do? Get a better price when selling artifacts. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Because I'm going to get a lot of artifacts out of this nonsense, surely. I mean, that's kind of what one expects from all this just nonsense dump that we've got going on. So, let's kind of see what we get. Keep it going. Hopefully something good. Go on. What else are we likely to get? More gubbins? Okay, we've got another couple of the same book, so that's fine and dandy. I guess we're just going to get lots of that book, aren't we? Kind of to be expected, though, isn't it? That we're going to get a few more of them. Maybe they are a bit more prevalent than I expected them to be. I was kind of expecting them to take a little bit more time to acquire, to be fair. So I'm actually very pleased that they're kind of easy to get, which is great. I am definitely not upset about that, because I'd much rather have an easier time of things, as I'm sure you can imagine. Because, again, I'm lazy, and I'd rather not have to spend hours and hours and hours trying to get everything that I want and need all sorted. So, let's see what else we can get here from him. Right, well, it looks like we're heading back to the farm for now. We're just going to dump all the stuff that we don't need on us, which I think is kind of understandable, right? Once we've done that, what else can we do? I guess that's the big question, isn't it? Is there... I mean, I probably should head back, and I should probably do another run through to fill my inventory. And the thing is, though, because I'm painfully aware that could be quite tedious, I'm probably just going to skip cut that bit. So it doesn't just drive me mad, because honestly, when I'm doing all the editing, if I'm just going over something that I'm like, this was tedious to record, I don't think it's going to be particularly fun for anyone to watch. So don't be too surprised if you see one that's just like, hang on a minute, he's cut a huge chunk out. That's why. But we're going to just... I'm going to use the end fridge, I think, as a repository for food items that have been restored. Like, it was not restored, sorry. That have been made. Restored? Why on earth would I even say that? That's a very odd word, isn't it? Yeah, well, once I've cooked them up and I can put them in the fridge, then I can go in and use it as a storage. There we go. That's what I was trying to say, for other general miscellanea. Which that's kind of the big thing here, is we want to be able to store all of our food and in a sensible place, because otherwise I don't always know where all the food items are, which might sound very silly, but it is kind of helpful for me to have knowledge of where all the food items are lurking and what do I have available. So I know I don't really have much in the way of spicy eel at the moment, which is something I kind of need more of. And it's not too difficult to do. Well, I say that. I need to get some eels. That's going to be the kind of the big issue on that one. So we'll give that another shot, really. So yeah, let's keep it trying. And off we pop. Is there anything else that we can do here right now? I think it's the big question, isn't it? Okay, so I wanted to try giving a couple of people the tea. I was kind of bamboozled a bit because I thought that you could only give one present a day, but it looks like the tea, like the special star drop stuff, is kind of exempt from that, because I gave 2 to Abigail, and unfortunately she only gave me the same response of, oh, you remember my birthday, which I think is, well, it's my own dumb fault, because yeah, I gave it to her on her birthday. I didn't actually anticipate that there would be the same conversation had, which is a shame, because yeah, it would have been nice were it not, because yeah, I'd like to see what she says, and if anything interesting, and unfortunately it doesn't look like she says anything particularly exciting, really. I mean, Clint's seems very, oh, I don't deserve it, which maybe he is just a little bit self-depreciating. Maybe that's why I'm not as keen on him, because he's very much like me. Ooh, that's a call out there, isn't it? The thing is, I do have a very self-depreciating sense of humour. It's just the way my brain works. So seeing him doing a lot of woe is me, it's like, ooh, I'm not sure if I like this. But yeah, anyway, silliness aside on that sort of front, I do wonder if that might be why I'm not as keen on him as others. But yeah, the other thing that I kind of need to look at is, well, who else could I give to? Like, Harvey was quite like a nice sort of recipient of it. And Harvey's one of those characters that I think I've married him once when I played through on one of my either female farmer or gay farmer playthroughs. I can't remember, though. I remember there's something about a balloon as one of his cutscenes. That's all I can remember off the top of my head. I'm going to have to possibly look into actually doing like a, maybe not an entire playthrough where I marry everyone, but, you know, figuring out if there's a sneaky way I can actually just see all the cutscenes and do all the heart events or something. Yeah, you know, something interesting. gonna give it a try at least. And see what we can do. Which is it's a thing. I've got lots of ideas of stuff that I'd like to do. That's really all I can say on this front. Now, I'm not catching many sardines at the moment, am I? I'm catching mostly sea cucumbers, which isn't a bad thing because they're a component of Lucky Lunch. So I'm not upset about that. Because of course I want to make Lucky Lunches because again the luck boost is phenomenally helpful. I mean, at no point would it not be. So yeah, I guess that's kind of what we're doing for that kind of front. But do I need super cucumbers? I don't think so. But I am getting more roe again, which I did say earlier that I need to get rid of by actually doing something vaguely useful and actually turning them into preserved roe. Again, not the end of the world. Something that's definitely feasible. So we'll give that a go. See what else we can try. Okay. You know, I think sardines might actually be a daytime fish. Honestly thinking about it, I have a sneaking suspicion that they don't appear after 7. So I might very well need to try finishing this off tomorrow. Because, yeah, there's no point in trying to catch fish that aren't lurking. Which I know might sound a bit silly, but if there's no point in me trying to catch something that's not going to turn up, is there? So, we've got a couple more of those animal crackers. I've got one sat in there. Let's see. Reorganise that slightly. I should probably pull that animal cracker out of there and, you know, use it to do something else. But I'm just going to sell everything that I don't need right now. And I realised that I've sold the regular sea cucumbers. When I said I'd quite like to hold on to those, I am a catastrophic moron. At the same time, though, I always do dumb stuff like this, so I'm not even slightly surprised. I'm annoyed at myself, but I'm not surprised at my stupidity, unfortunately. That's very annoying. Damn it. Oh well. Not much I can do on this point, is there? It's just how it goes. That's annoying. Oh well. We'll just have to deal with it. You know, it's what we do, and I'm an idiot. But anyway, idiocy aside, we've still got a few other things that we kind of want to try and do before the end of the day, which is just going to be making sure that we've got all the row organised and everything's ready. Because, yeah, we want to make sure that the farm is ready to go for tomorrow. Now, I have a couple of ideas for things that I'm going to try and do tomorrow. And one of them is going to be going to Ginger Island to go visit the volcano. I feel that that is a prudent plan because when I look at what's actually available on the volcano that I kind of need to sort out, there's still quite a lot for me to try to get. Like, I still want to have a few more dragon's teeth. I think you use them as part of the rainy totem anyway, so I do kind of want to have them. But are there any other totems that I kind of want to have, or any other ingredients that I need that I can only get on Ginger Island? And if I'm honest about it, the only other one that I'm really thinking about is, well, do I need more ginger? I don't think so. I've got quite a stack of it. And then after that, well, one of the things that I definitely don't need, need to worry about, other than really, is coal. And coal is one of those ones that I'm hoping, desperately hoping, that my adventures into the volcano will give me more coal. I can't guarantee if it will, but that's really what I'm hoping for, because I want lots and lots of coal. I need it. And I know I keep ranting and raving about it, but there's not really much else I can do, because I need the coal. and I need it to make all of the fine, shiny things that I want. So it's kind of how it goes, really, isn't it? It seems strange that there isn't like a better way of making it, because yes, you can like there is the charcoal maker, but why is there not like a heavy charcoal maker or like an industrial charcoal maker? Because there is obviously the heavy furnace sort of thing, which, you know, gives you more quickly and takes up less space and just kind of the better way of producing. So why isn't there a version of that but for charcoal? Well, coal. I mean, I guess that's a small mercy, is that it's not considered a different item. Because, well, maybe that could be another thing. Because actually, you might find that using charcoal versus coal, that they do have different legitimate uses. So I guess you could do that as a thing, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. It could be a different way of doing stuff. It certainly wouldn't hurt, I don't think, to have a slightly different choice of resource. I'm just trying to think of any like organic, strictly speaking, uses for charcoal that have a different, that would be like, well, other than like detoxifying yourself, you know, activated charcoal and all. But is there anything else that one can do with? I mean, I guess you can use charcoal and potash potentially to make fertilizers, because if it's, I mean, yes, I know carbon as a whole is really the organic element, and yes, because coal is from trees, fossilized trees, but it is I mean, is there something else that one could do with it? I'm going to be racking my brains for like the next 20 minutes, I'm sure, thinking about that. Because this is the trouble, is as soon as you have one of those scatterbrain thoughts, it's how it all ends up rolling, doesn't it? Ah, the joys of ADD. It's definitely something that I really need more to work with. Right, so we're into Sunday now. So let's see what other things can we kind of achieve today. Well, it's going to be clear and gusty, so that's fine and all. Good morning, Hayley, my lovely wife. Again, being up at 6 o'clock seems absolute madness. I mean, I understand why as a farmer, because you've got stuff to do. But at the same time, the idea of being up that early hurts me. Because, I do not do mornings. I have never been a morning person. And that was something that I recently discovered, is that people with who are neurospicy, typically the ADD, tend to work better at night, which is, well, definitely the case. I am not a morning person. One does not do well in the mornings, and would much rather not have a 9 to 5 and something more like a 12 till 8 would be much more acceptable to me. But then again, I'd then have to figure out how am I going to sort out my... Well, I'm sure I could figure it out. But, yes. Let's water all of my... Oh, that's ready to harvest, so that's easy enough. Let's just size that down as well. Fibre. I think I've made a bunch more of the fibre plant seeds, so we're going to replace those, and that will be good, because then we'll have more fibre coming in, which is excellent stuff. And I know it's not really like a super important component, but it is something that it's nice to... I did use up my entire stack of it, so I would like to have more just in case. Which again, I'm sure works in that whole you're a hoarder sort of idea. But it's... I might need it. It might be useful sort of logic. It's just how it works. What do you want from me? I can't help it. I like making sure that I'm prepared. Although, interestingly, I'm not quite as bad when I play tabletop roleplay games. Like, I guess when I've got a D&D sort of session, it's not like that the DM goes, right, you loot that person. They are equipped with X, Y, Z and all of their shinies and everything. Just gives you a rough summary of what can you actually pinch from their corpse. I mean, compared to things like Fallout and even this, to be fair, I've just got... Oh, it's not nailed down. I should probably grab that. And it's not a terrible issue, but it is something I definitely do a lot of, to be fair. If it's not nailed down, I'm nicking it. Which I think is quite reasonable. Because I want shiny things. Right. So, what else can we kind of figure out here? Well, we're going to slap down a few more pumpkins. We've still got plenty of time to grow them because we're only halfway through the season. Pumpkins take 13 days to grow, so they'll be ready by the 27th, so that's fine. Now, it would be nice if you could put seeds in a Junimo hut and that they would replenish and replant them for you. That would be really cool. I very much doubt that would ever be a thing, but that would be really nice if it was. Because it would make my life even easier again, because I then have to worry about one less thing. Now, I do also really need to have a look and see about the use of fertilizers with the sprinkler that gives you the fertilizer distribution. Because I'm genuinely curious, because I've never used them. Never at all. And I'm wondering, does it fertilize the entire area around it with just one? Or are there, you know, other ways that it's used, and can you stack different fertilizers? So I think that might be a bit of a deep dive that I try and do at some point soon, is just so I can kind of see how does it work. Because, yeah, I want to know. Which I think is reasonable, I guess. As I'd like to know what's the mechanic behind it, how does it work, and what else does it do. So, yeah, I'm going to give that a try. This is where it turns out and it doesn't actually do anything particularly exciting and I'm just being a moron, but we're going to give it a try. Because if... Like, I guess that if it can give you all of the areas around it, hypothetically, if it can saturate all the areas around you with, around it at least, sorry, with fertilizer, and you only use one to do it, that could give you quite a big benefit, because then you'd only need to make one fertilizer. But the trade-off then comes from... I mean, the thing is, you could, theoretically, you could slap it down, put in the fertilizer, it would fertilize 24 tiles around it, and then, after it's fertilized them all, you just take off the, yeah, you just take off the, fertilizer sprayer bit, and put on the other one. I guess. That kind of makes sense to me. I mean, it's a bit of an odd thing to try to do, but I guess? Maybe? Oddity aside, I've thought, not long and hard, but I've tried to think at least, as to what might work. And I'm not sure. So I'm going to stop rambling at that point. Because, you know, I could be just waffling mad nonsense, which is, again, kind of normal for me, isn't it, these days? I just am the mad rambler. But I'm still kind of debating to see what other things are going to be available as part of the 1.6 update, and what other things can I do while I'm, you know, roaming through the farm and adventuring through, because of course there's going to be a few other things that we can kind of do. And I mean, we've got the autumn fair, fate, whatever, Stardew Valley Fair. Now, I don't think there have been any other new events during the autumn. I can't remember if I've seen any yet. So, other than the bookseller coming in, I haven't seen anything brand spanking new. So I guess that's a thing. So kind of have to wait and see on that front, won't we? Because, yeah, I do want to know if there's anything new, but I don't think there is. But again, rambling aside, we've still got more to try to figure out for this lovely season. So let's see what else we can do here. Well, I'm going to try and catch these damn sardines. There's only 4 of them I need to catch now, because I've caught 1. So that's 1 out of 5. Oh, yeah. And once I catch the others, then that's good. We're kind of golden. We've got what we needed to. But the question really comes, how easy is that going to be? And I can't imagine it's going to be too difficult. I mean, they're only sardines, aren't they? It's just going to be finding out whether I do catch them. And again, I probably should have made the special sardine bait. That would have been more sensible, wouldn't it? If I'm honest about it. And I think that's the problem that I genuinely have, is that I do tend to forget that there are certain, maybe not entirely quality of life things that are still now available, but I am forgetting that there are things that make my life a hell of a lot easier. And I need to start using them more. Because heck, yeah, of course I want to be able to catch exactly the one fish that I'm trying to catch. That makes my life loads easier. Why would that not? Kind of a given, right? So yeah, I do need to try and figure that out, at least. So yeah. Hopefully we can figure that out. And also I need to... Maybe that should be something I should do, is things that are likely to appear, such as sardines as a required catch. I should try and make some bait specifically for them, because that might work out quite well for me going forwards as a, you know, ease of life, sort of quality of life, ease of things kind of shenanigans. That seems to make sense to me, at least. Generally. So yeah, maybe that's what I should try and do. I can't guarantee that it's going to be particularly successful, but it might work out well. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll try and make some individual baits that are more tailored. And I think that'll be a task for later on. I can't really say that it's going to be something I can definitely do right now, but it definitely wouldn't hurt for me to make at least 5 or 6. Because I know it's random how many are made from each fish you slap in there, so goodness knows. So let's give it a try. Come on, sardine, get on the line. We've got, I'd really quite like to catch you, please and thank you. That would be quite nice of you if you could just get on the line. And stay on the line, please, because, I mean, it's not going to be super difficult to catch them, but please, get on and stay on. I have things to do. Mostly involving catching fish, but, you know, it needs to happen. So, yeah. Well, we've caught them all now, thank goodness, so that's nice and easy. But now what? So, we need to go and find Demetrius. So he's going to be not like the end of the world difficult to find, but we do need to find him. He's usually lurking either in his house or near the waterfall, if memory serves. So we'll have a look around and see if we can find the old scientist goat. Well, he's not in his house. Okay. That's, again, not impossible to deal with. He's likely down by the waterfall. Again, not a bad place to... There he is. Wonderful. Well, we're going to catch him and give him his announcement that the fish have been caught and they're now dead. Although, considering the game logic, they aren't really dead. They are, to be fair, almost in the suspended animation, because they don't exactly rot, do they? I honestly couldn't tell you what's happened to the fish. They are fished. And I'm kind of loath to do any more fishing quests when they pop up, because I have spent a fair bit of time at the beginning of this season dealing with fishing, and I don't really want to do any more. Even though, as I've mentioned previously, I don't dislike the fishing minigame. It's not like I find it particularly difficult. It's just tedious. And I'd rather not have to do that more. Thank you kindly. So, yes, we will see on that front. So, yeah. Hopefully it's not too bad with the other things that we kind of need to do. So, yeah. Okay, now, I mean, it's 5:40, so it's really just going to be sorting out what other miscellaneous stuff can we fiddle with in the farm. So Ginger Island's going to be our main port of call, so we're going to smack that. And I guess what we're going to have to do is just go and grab more of the coal out of the volcano. I mean, we're not expecting much else, are we? So, let's have a quick check over on the... I nearly forgot what the word was, like this waterfall area, because there are quite a few other things that we can grab here. So a few more bones might not hurt to have. And again, they're not like, again, the most devastatingly useful thing, but they do have quite a few uses in that I can turn them into fertilizer. I think they are used in a couple of different rings, even, which, again, not a terrible thing. I think they're also used in one or two of the decorations. So again, not awful to have more of. And I'm definitely not upset about having more of them. There we go. And we also got some more ginger. Like, I doubt that I actually need more ginger, but it's never a bad thing to have, really, is it? So, let's see what we can try to do here when it comes to other general scenes here. Well, looks like we're going to have a few more of these enemies, isn't it? Coming our way. Those dragons, I mean, again, we're getting more dragon's teeth out of them, which is good. Dragon's fangs, and I mean, we need them. Because it was something I was like, yeah, I want more of those. So I'm not, again, not upset about seeing that. Again, we're after coal mostly, so where are we going to get more of them? Hopefully, with a big hopefully, we'll catch a large quantity of more of it, like the nodes. But I haven't seen many, which is a real shame because we do see them, just not a big block of them, sadly. I would like more. So yeah. Well, these enemies aren't exactly being too much of a problem, which kind of a given, really, isn't it? But they're not exactly the hardest for us to kill through. Because thankfully the volcano doesn't have a hard mode in of itself, which I guess is a good thing. I think. I mean, it might be a good thing. I don't know. Genuinely. Would it be a particularly good thing to do? I don't know. You know, I'm just sort of like, I'm rambling at the moment, aren't I? Really am. So yes, let's see if we can figure anything else out on this sort of front. Let's put another bomb in here. I wonder how full my inventory is getting. I have a sneaking suspicion it's getting quite full. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, that's annoying. Fiddlesticks. Okay, well that's frustrating. I've just teleported back to the farm. So, I definitely didn't want to do that. I wanted to, you know, be roaming around and doing other things for a bit at least first. Fine. That's just frustrating. I guess I'm just going to have to deal with it, though. It's not the end of the world. I'll live. So, yeah, I'm just going to reorganize everything I've got here. So, it looks like I've actually got the stack of 999 coal now, so that's good news, at least. So next is going to be, what can we do with all the other bits? So once we've got the piano, which shouldn't be too hard to do, we'll be able to get Well, what next? Actually, I think that's the big question, isn't it? What can we do with the piano after the piano? Well, it looks like we're definitely going to be trying to gather more that's available for the use in the heavy furnaces, which is again all well and good. Just going to distribute all the gubbins we've got here, but I think considering we're coming up towards the end of the night now, I can pretty safely say there's not much else that's going to happen today other than just getting ready for bed. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed, please do like, share and subscribe. A big shout out goes out to my Patreon subscribers, and please do. Hopefully I'll catch you all again the next time the Walrus plays Stardew Valley.